Yeah, I just need a second to breathe. My nigga ain't even get time to grieve. Don't get attached to none of these hoes, cause all of them know when to leave. Heart too cold, had to take my shit on my sleeve. Heart too cold, had to take my shit on my sleeve.
A hometown kid. We're gonna find out. Now, the rules are as follows. Each quarterback has to at least be from the state that the NFL team plays in. After that, the goal is to give every team the best quarterback possible, regardless of proximity to their actual hometown. For example, let's say we're talking about the Panthers. If we have a couple options and one guy is from Charlotte, where the Panthers actually play, but he stinks, and another guy is from another city in North Carolina, but is actually good, we're going with the second guy. As much as I would love to find 32 literal hometown players, it's just not possible. But we will use hometown proximity for a couple things. First, if there are multiple teams in the same state.
It's gotta be active quarterbacks, my nigga. It ain't all time.
We'll use hometowns to decide which quarterback
Those all time. Texas still good though.
goes where. And we'll also use it as a tiebreaker. So if we're trying to pick a quarterback for a certain team and we end up with a few options from that state who are all kind of on the same level, we'll go with whoever grew up.
Let me go ahead and screenshot these because I know somebody. Hell nah, why they ain't go with him? Let me go. We're gonna pull the rules back up, y'all. Just pull the rules. Let's see. We're gonna see. All right. I know it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen.
Closer to the team. Now, before we start, I do want to acknowledge some of the best quarterbacks who are going to be homeless because of this process. Joe Burrow is from Ames, Iowa, so he won't have a team to go to. And Justin Herbert is from Eugene, Oregon, so he will also be left out. But let's see who these teams end up with. And let's see if you guys are as surprised as I was by just how gross some of these selections are going to get. Let's just go across the map, starting with the Seattle Seahawks. And we're starting out hot because their hometown quarterback is Brett Rippon.
Hell no! Y'all niggas is fried.
Yeah, not a lot of good quarterbacks born in Washington State. Now, if this were an all-time thing, Seattle would be in pretty good shape because John Elway was actually born in Port Angeles, Washington. But we're looking for quarterbacks who can play right now, and unfortunately, Brett Rippon, hailing from Spokane, Washington, is the best we got. Sorry, Seahawks. Now, moving on to a state that has a lot more options, California. But this is where things get tricky because we have to give quarterbacks to 3 teams here, and while we can mostly debate which quarterbacks deserve to fill those 3 spots, there's one guy that has to get on one of these teams no matter what. Non-negotiable. And that's this guy. You know, the perennial MVP candidate and
You're going to bed with Lamar's trophy in your case. I do not care. Fuck out of here. And it has been so nasty to watch you motherfuckers go and start to act like, oh, Lamar got all of these Pro Bowlers on his team and Josh Allen only has 1. I'm starting to see you niggas do and say things that you never brought up in the past, yo. Stop this shit. It's nasty, yo. It's absolutely fucking nasty. And do you not have shame? Because you niggas did not bring this shit up for any other quarterbacks in the past. When you had niggas on stacked teams with all-time defenses, no niggas brought up these things. But all of a sudden now, we gotta bring it up.
Undeniable top 3 quarterback in the entire league. But the reason I say it's tricky is because Josh grew up in a small town called Firebaugh, California, about 150 miles from San Francisco and about 250 miles from LA. So he's closer to San Francisco, but we have another guy who I believe is also one of the 3 most deserving California quarterbacks, and he basically grew up in San Francisco's backyard. Because of that, I'm gonna let that guy stay home and send Josh a little further south to Los Angeles. So for the San Francisco 49ers, their hometown quarterback is Jared Goff. Goff grew up in Novato, California, just 28 miles outside of San Francisco. No surprise he grew up as a Niner fan and even wears number 16 as a tribute to Joe Montana. Now, I know Josh Allen grew up a Niner fan too, so I'm sorry to any Niner fans out there that really wanted him in this hypothetical fantasy world, but compromises had to be made. And you still got a good one. Jared Goff in a Shanahan offense would probably be a demon. As for who wins the Josh Allen sweepstakes, the Chargers and Rams play in the same building, so there's no proximity-related tiebreaker to go to. But I'm gonna give him to the Chargers and keep him in the AFC. Mainly because the other Cali quarterback I'm going with currently plays in
the only other Cali quarterback that I personally know, I know there's other ones than CJ Stroud, but I don't think he's gonna make this list.
NFC, so I might as well just keep it consistent. The Rams' hometown quarterback is Jaden Daniels from Fontana, California.
Okay, just had a great season. All right.
About 50 miles east of Los Angeles.
Brady,
Apologies to the
current. This is current. He had a great season.
The Cali quarterbacks who didn't make the cut, including CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, Sam Darnold, and Aaron Rodgers.
Now I take CJ. No, you got to understand the reason why this is happening. Even though CJ Stroud is 2 years in, he's going off this season, bro. This nigga, Jaden Daniels was better than CJ this year. So I understand. I'm not gonna trip on it or nothing like that.
So far, we've been able to keep this to active NFL quarterbacks. Even Brett Rippon.
Sorry, it's not this season, but like, how can you watch what Jaden did? He's just giving them based off strictly potential. He just took a team to the NFC Championship. CJ Stroud didn't take his team past the second round. I get it. He has a Texas fan. I get it.
is at least on an NFL roster. But not every team can be so lucky. When I tell you I searched high and low for a quarterback from the state of Nevada, I mean it. According to Pro Football Reference, the most recent NFL quarterback born in Nevada is Tony Graziani, who played his last NFL game in 1999 and played his last professional game in 2008 in the Arena Football. That's not gonna work. But after digging through UFL, CFL, and NCAA stats, I think I finally found our best option. Just understand that best is relative. Raiders fans, your hometown quarterback from the University of Iowa by way of Reno, Nevada, Cade McNamara. You may remember him from his days at Michigan, where he was actually solid before transferring to Iowa and
y'all niggas is cooked. Thank God this ain't real. Y'all niggas is cooked.
Falling off the face of the earth. But who knows? Maybe with the right coaching and the right system, you can turn him into an effective. Oh, who am I kidding? You guys are screwed. The Arizona Cardinals are much better off because they've got Brock Purdy from Queens Creek, Arizona, about 50 miles from Glendale. If not for him, they would have been stuck with either Spencer Rattler, Kyle Allen, or 4 years retired Ryan Fitzpatrick, but they made out pretty good. And now, Denver. You know what? No, I'm moving west to east here, but I'm saving Denver for last. They were even more of a nightmare than Vegas was, and I just don't have the mental capacity to handle that right now, so we'll circle back. Chiefs fans, you have a couple options, all equally terrible. There are 3 quarterbacks from the state of Missouri currently in the NFL. Drew Lock, Skylar Thompson, and Blaine Gabbert. Now, considering I've seen Drew Lock and Skylar Thompson play football this year, and neither of them look like they belong on an NFL field, I'm just gonna go ahead and give you Blaine Gabbert. Not just because he hasn't had the opportunity.
Don't give you no fucking Blaine Gabbert. He's a career backup, and I've seen what Blaine Gabbert looked like as a starter. Yes, I understand Jacksonville did him wrong. I really do believe if Blaine Gabbert was drafted to another team, his career would be different. Jaguars put him behind a horrible offensive line, and this dude is, I will forever remember Blaine Gabbert being the most pocket, I had a word for him I used to call him, but he literally was not comfortable in the pocket at all. This motherfucker would he seen ghosts. He runs quick. He got paranoid. Pocket paranoid quarterbacks I've ever seen. And I get it. It's pocket pussy. Take your ass to bed. The Jaguars' offensive line was shit. And after that, after he realized it was bad, he was never comfortable. That nigga was like, man, somebody's coming, even though nobody was getting him.
Opportunity to embarrass himself this year like the other two have, but because he actually started a game for the Chiefs last season, so there's at least some familiarity there. He wasn't good, but they won the game, so whatever. On to the state of Texas, where, as you can imagine, there are plenty of options to choose from, but we have—
It might be Matt Stafford and then CJ.
5,222 just subscribed.
Yo, Rich, think of yourself. Matt Stafford's from Texas, right? I know I'm not making that up. I might be. But I feel like it'll be Stafford and then Mahomes.
have to start with the only quarterback in the league who's actively in the GOAT conversation, even with a down year, and that's Patrick Mahomes. He's from Tyler, Texas, which is much closer to Dallas than it is to Houston, so as much as I would absolutely hate this, for the purpose of this video, Patrick Mahomes is a Dallas Cowboy. But don't feel too bad for Houston. They still have Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, and Kyler Murray to choose from. And even though those guys are all roughly on the same—
Out of all of those people, I'm going to take Jalen, honestly, real shit. But Baker's a baller. Kyler make plays. Makes plays. You can't, honestly, I wouldn't trip on none of these.
Same tier. One of them is actually from Houston, and that's Jalen Hurts. So we're going with him. Over to Louisiana, where there was really—
from Channel View, but we still shit. We'll claim him.
Only one option, and that's Dak Prescott from Sulphur.
Okay. All right. Look, you're right. Look, you're right.
For Louisiana. A hefty 200 miles from New Orleans, but if not for him, we'd have to pull Eli or Peyton Manning out of retirement, and no one wants that. In fact, as a Patriots fan, I probably want that less than—
Here we go! Y'all niggas ain't going nowhere, dude.
Literally everyone. The Vikings get a guy who is still active in the NFL, I'm just not sure for how much longer, Trey Lance. He was born in Marshall, Minnesota, about 150 miles—
You niggas is cooked. You niggas is cooked.
Miles outside of Minneapolis, and no, there are no other options. I'm sure you'll find this shocking, but not a lot of players are from Wisconsin. Hell, not a lot of people are from Wisconsin. So this is another team where we didn't really have a lot of options. But there is one quarterback from Wisconsin who's been trying to get back in the NFL for almost a decade now. So I think it's time we let him back in. The Green Bay Packers' hometown quarterback is Colin Kaepernick. He's—
Man, hell no. This nigga too far removed. I'm sorry. This ain't goddamn 2015. Hell no. Shout out to Kaepernick, though. You're my dog, man, but stop.
Spent most of his childhood in California, but was—
That nigga on that NFL team gonna blitz the shit out of him. He ain't used to that speed no more, man. They gonna fry the shit out of my nigga, bro.
Born in Milwaukee, a little over 100 miles from Green Bay. Sorry if you're not excited about this, Packers fans, but your next best option is 42-year-old Charlie Whitehurst, who retired from football 8 years ago. And still, I know there's probably a large subsection of you who would prefer him. Despite having an Achilles with questionable functionality, the Chicago Bears' hometown quarterback is Kirk Cousins. Born in Barrington, Illinois, about 40 miles from Chicago. Only other options here were Jimmy Garoppolo and Aiden O'Connell, so I feel pretty good about calling Kirk the next one. I know the Lions would take a gimpy Kirk Cousins over the guy they're going to have to settle for here, and that is Cooper Rush from Charlotte, Michigan, about 100 miles from Detroit. I've been surprised a few times during this process by just how few quarterbacks come from certain states.
Texas and California is laughing at you poor-ass states. Right now it's Texas and California, and I know Florida going to be good. Laughing at you poor-ass states.
Foxtel just resubscribed for 25 months.
Thank you for the 25
What's
months
better
of
than
Prime,
24? Man. 25 Tracer,
You're
my
not gonna do that
guy.
every time you sub.
States. And I know Michigan's never been known as a hotbed for the position, but I still find it odd that the best they have to offer is Cooper Rush and Drew Stanton. But it gets worse in Indianapolis because, my goodness, there are not a lot of quarterbacks from the state of Indiana. At first glance, it seems like our best option is actually convincing 41-year-old Jay Cutler to come out of retirement. Side note, he's from Santa Claus, Indiana, which I found very funny. But he hasn't played football in 7 years, so I'm gonna leave him alone because he might actually explode if we put him on a field. Our next best option looks like San Diego State quarterback Danny O'Neal, who's from Indianapolis and actually had a nice year for the Aztecs, but he's only a freshman, so he's not eligible yet. And yes, we are taking eligibility into account, which brings me to option C, who I had to dig up out of the CFL, Tommy Stevens. What's funny about Stevens, who is also from Indianapolis, is it seems like he's the Taysom Hill of the CFL. He's listed as a quarterback, but only attempted 2 passes last season while running the ball 60 times for 237 yards and 10 touchdowns. So he can't.
Y'all gonna be tanking forever. Ass.
Can't really throw, but he can run like crazy. Now that I think about it, it'd probably be a seamless transition if he became a Colts quarterback. Here's where we stand so far, and yep, that's certainly a list. Already have a couple divisions that are complete disasters, and we're only half.
Look at this division, y'all. Bears, y'all killing these niggas. Cooking. This division right here, it's a nasty division. Seahawks, y'all niggas is poor. they gonna win this every year.
Halfway through. Fantastic. Now, before we continue, this video is once again brought to you by our friends.
Yeah, I ain't fuck my bookie. The time I did try to sports bet, it was on my bookie. I ain't winning nothing.
Check out my bookie, and remember, proven than the rest, the Titans' hometown quarterback is Trevor Lawrence. He was born in
Looking at what everybody else have, not bad.
Knoxville, Tennessee, which isn't particularly close to Nashville, but he's a lot better than Nashville native CJ Beathard, and obviously has the edge over Cookeville, Tennessee native Michael Penix Jr., at least for now. The Falcons probably have the funniest options of all the states so far, because Georgia is home to some backup legends. We're talking Davis Mills, Josh Dobbs, Malik Willis, Taylor Heineke. But if we're looking for a starter, it's gonna come down to Deshaun Watson and Justin Fields. And considering Watson just tore his Achilles and also sucks and also is a bad person, we're gonna go with Justin Fields, who
It's Justin.
grew up in Kennesaw, Georgia, about 30 miles north of Atlanta. Heading into Florida now, where we have another 3 teams to fill and plenty of options to do so, but we have to start with the reigning NFL MVP, Lamar Jackson. Lamar is from Pompano
Cook. Florida starting off right.
Beach, about 40 miles from Miami, so Lamar will be the hometown quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers won't be upset with their consolation prize, though, because they get Tampa's own Matthew Stafford. Stafford grew
Man, God, wait a minute. I thought this nigga was from Texas.
up mostly in Texas, but was born in Tampa, and now we're sending him back there for his twilight.
Man, get the fuck out of here with this shit. Man, get the fuck out of here. He cheating, yo.
Years. How full circle of us. As for the
Whatever.
Jaguars, they get Geno Smith. Now, Geno
Not a bad state. Gino, you look crazy here with them braids, man. Ball out, though, man. Ball out, bro.
from Miramar, Florida, which is actually even closer to Miami than Lamar's hometown is. But here's my thinking. Unlike the Josh
Rules? Look at the rules, man. What is this? Best quarterback possible. Hometown, they talked about that. Both the quarterback option, same skills, level, hometown, proximity. Man, he on that bullshit with that Matthew Stafford shit.
Allen, Jared Goff situation in California, Lamar is still really close to the Dolphins too. While Allen wasn't particularly close to either
He was born in Tampa. I guess Baltimore can claim Tupac or New York, whichever one he from.
San Francisco or Los Angeles. I want to give the best quarterbacks the most logical geographic fits when possible. But Allen was kind of in no
fuck out of it. Let me tell you what. If you're born in a state and you don't even remember growing up there because you was like a baby when you left, you're not from there, bro. Don't grow up. Don't be big ass 25 years old. Yeah, I'm from New York, bro. And you're not even from New York. Nigga, you grew up in fucking Salt Lake City, Utah. Stop claiming New York, nigga. You're not from New York, bro. You're from Utah.
No man's land. So to me, it was worth making him go a little farther if it let me keep Jared Goff in his own backyard. So that's my logic for moving Allen to LA, but not moving Lamar to Jacksonville. Just in case anyone was planning to
let me see what the fuck he just said, running back.
Either San Francisco or Los Angeles. I want to give the best quarterbacks the most logical geographic fits when possible. But Allen was kind of in no man's land. So to me, it was worth making him go a little farther if it let me keep Jared Goff in his own backyard. So that's my logic for moving Allen to LA, but not moving Lamar to Jacksonville. Just in case anyone was planning to sue me for not giving their favorite team the best hypothetical quarterback. Then again, I don't think Jags fans actually exist anyway. Up to Carolina now, and I know he's a rookie, and I know I'm a biased Patriots fan, but I gotta think Panthers fans would still prefer Drake May to their other options that include Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones, and Sam Howell. So their quarterback
all right, Drake May. Welcome, Drake. Welcome.
It's going to be May from Huntersville, North Carolina, just 14 miles north of Charlotte. For the Bengals, we have a quarterback defecting from one AFC North team to another because their hometown boy is none other than Mr. Unlimited Russell Wilson. Got a couple of Ohio
Ooh, this would be nasty. Watching Russ in a fucking Bengals uniform is gross.
Teams we gotta account for here, but with Russ being born right here in Cincinnati, he's gonna be the Bengal. And Browns fans might be wishing he was born in a different hospital a little closer to Cleveland, because their quarterback is gonna be Mitch Trubisky. Native of Mentor, Ohio, just 25 miles.
Damn, bro, even in a fake scenario, the Browns can't get a quarterback. Fuck! Y'all niggas is doomed!
From the Brown Stadium, Trubisky did win the Ohio Mr. Football Award in 2012, so this would be as legit of a homecoming as you could find. But almost 13 years later, I imagine Cleveland fans are hoping for someone a little better. Actually, on second thought, terrible quarterback play has pretty much been the norm in Cleveland for the last 35 years outside of Baker Mayfield, who they ran out of town. So Trubisky will fit right in. Pennsylvania is home to some great all-time quarterbacks, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, Rich Gannon, but currently, not so much. In fact, there are really only two guys to choose.
Just resubscribed for 6 months.
From here, which is good enough because we have two Pennsylvania teams to accommodate. For the Steelers, we are going to have to drag someone out of retirement, but at least it was a recent retirement. Matt Ryan from
Shador on the way. Oh, to Cleveland? I don't know.
In Pennsylvania.
Oh, man, goddamn, Steelers. Y'all still struggling.
Is the Steelers' new quarterback. Now, Exton is much closer to Philadelphia than it is to
Hey, Dre, his ass out the commentary booth.
Pittsburgh, and Ryan has even said he grew up as an Eagles fan. But even closer to Philadelphia is Wynwood, Pennsylvania, just 8 miles away and the birthplace of Bryce Young. Now, like a few of the guys we've talked
Hey, Eagles, y'all better hope that Bryce Young shit from last year's take a step up. I ain't gonna lie, Bryce late in the season looked good, though. Bryce was balling.
about, Bryce didn't really grow up here. He moved to Pasadena, California when he was really young. But also, like a lot of these situations, we gotta take what we can get. And I think being born in the shadow of Philadelphia qualifies him enough to be their guy. Chalk up the Washington Commanders as one of the teams saved by having exactly one NFL quarterback from their city. Because if not for this guy, they would have been incredibly down bad. Instead of their quarterback being the number 2 overall pick in the 2024 draft, it's the number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams. Caleb was born and raised in D.C., went to Gonzaga College High School, and won Washington, D.C. Gatorade Player of the Year in 2018. The Baltimore Ravens are another team.
Y'all niggas is up.
That was much harder to find a quarterback for than I expected. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that a small state like Maryland doesn't have a lot of pro talent, but this was easily the most difficult team I dealt with other than Denver. The only quarterback in the last 40 years to come from Maryland is Doug Flutie, who retired in 2005. And after digging through the CFL, UFL, and whatever other FLs I could find without seeing a single Maryland native, I knew we had to go back to the college ranks. Now, I thought I had found some halfway decent options. Mississippi State quarterback Michael Van Buren at least plays for a power conference team, but he's only a freshman. And then I found Charlotte quarterback Deshaun Purdy, who has pretty similar numbers, but is also a freshman. Eventually, I finally found a guy that works. Baltimore, your new quarterback from Virginia Tech by way of Iamsville, Maryland, Colin Schlee, a senior.
Man, Baltimore, y'all niggas, DMV, y'all niggas ain't breed no Ubers. Well, damn, I just got Caleb. Who the fuck is this? Baltimore, what y'all got going on?
With a whopping 346 passing yards this season. His most notable year came back in 2022 with Kent State, where he threw for 2,109 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions, while adding 98 carries for 492 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground. So he's got some dual threat ability. That's good news.
We breed shooters. Thank God this ain't war, nigga.
At least, right, Ravens fans? Maybe you won't miss Lamar too much after all.
I was just at
I joke a lot about the
he
Jets and
built
Giants
down here. He got his draft jersey and
Jersey.
college gear and a lot of his trophies there. Shit's fire.
Well, you was just at the Lamar field that he built down there? That's fire. I didn't know he built a field. That makes sense though, that's hard.
But in this video, they're gonna have to acknowledge it because we're finding players from the places that these teams actually play. They probably won't be too upset though, because based on my research, there are actually more acceptable quarterbacks from New Jersey than from New York. Weird, I know. For the Jets, we're going with Joe Flacco from Voorhees or Audubon, New Jersey, depending where you look.
Yeah,
Either way, it's
he's
about
been
90
there.
miles from MetLife Stadium. Obviously, with the Jets and Giants playing in the same stadium, I had to decide who would go where between whichever two quarterbacks I chose, but I decided to put Flacco on the Jets because he's actually played there before. And it works out even better when I tell you who the Giants quarterback is because it's also someone who's played for them before. And by before, I mean right now. Did someone order some chicken cutlets? Because the New York Giants hometown quarterback is Livingston, New Jersey's own Tommy DeVito, the only quarterback in this entire video who didn't have to change teams. I could have gone with Kenny Pickett here or even PJ Walker, but I wasn't going to take a true hometown kid away from his hometown team for a minor upgrade at best. DeVito may be bad, but at least he's fun to root for, unlike that dork in his two gloves. As for the team actually in New York, like I said, not a lot of options here. The most
I've never been no Kenny Pickett fan. I don't see it. I don't see it.
recent NFL quarterback from the state of New York is Garrett Gilbert, who is from Buffalo, but hasn't seen game action since 2021. So I'm actually going to dip back into the CFL for this one and bring back a fan favorite. For the Buffalo Bills, their hometown quarterback is Buffalo native and current starting quarterback for the Toronto Argonauts, Chad Kelly. The nephew of Bills legend Jim Kelly, I'm sure Swag Kelly would be welcomed with open arms. Until he inevitably showed everyone why he's been relegated to the CFL for so many years. But hey, it's better than Garrett Gilbert. Probably. As a Patriots fan, I'm not happy about this, but we really only have one option, and that is Will Levis. He's from Newton, Massachusetts, only about 25 miles outside of Foxborough. And look, I guess I should be happy he exists, because a lot like Caleb Williams in Washington, D.C., there is legitimately no one else even halfway viable to put in this spot, so at least we have a guy who knows how to throw a football. Kinda. Alright, it's time.
Who the fuck is going to be
Denver Broncos. Now I know what you might be thinking. Can this really be any worse than having to dig up Cade McNamara for the Raiders, or Colin Schlee for the Ravens, or Tommy Stevens for the Colts? Yes. 1,000,000% yes. Because at least for those teams, I was able to find answers in the CFL or in college. But for the Broncos, not only were there no Colorado natives in any of the top professional leagues, I clicked on the profiles of each of the top 300 plus passers in D1 college football. Nada. I scrolled so far, I started to find position players, wide receivers who had only thrown one pass all year. There is not a single quarterback from the state of Colorado playing football at a reasonably high level anywhere. But I wasn't about to give up.
I don't believe it, bro. You gotta go to FCS then.
Next thought was there must be a local quarterback at one of the D1 Colorado schools. Even if he's far as hell down the depth chart, they must have a walk-on who is at least vaguely familiar with the concept of playing the quarterback position. And after looking up and down the rosters of both Colorado and Colorado State, I found exactly one quarterback who is both from Colorado and eligible to play in the NFL. Folks, let me introduce you to Colorado State redshirt junior from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, Giles Pooler, a walk-on who has exactly one career start in 3 seasons and has one career touchdown off a fake field goal in 2023. But
man, y'all niggas is trash. That nigga said we doomed.
This isn't the Broncos.
Oh my God.
This got me thinking, is this really the best we can do? Clearly for actual quarterbacks it is, but would this guy really be better at playing quarterback in the NFL than another player who just switches positions? I don't think so. Because of that, ladies and gentlemen, your Denver Broncos hometown quarterback from Castle Rock, Colorado is Luke McCaffrey. He was a former college quarterback at Rice before switching to wide receiver, and
you niggas get the bad McCaffrey, brother?
And, well, we're switching him back. The numbers weren't pretty in college, don't get me wrong. In fact, I considered going with his brother here because Christian is actually 2 for 4 for 82 yards and 2 touchdowns passing in his career. But I'll give it to the guy who actually played the position for an extended period of time. So there you have it, Broncos fans. Have fun. Here's one last look at the breakdown of every team's shiny.
What is the best division? Let's talk business, all right? The AFC East. You got Lamar over there in trash. AFC North, Matt Ryan, Russell. This is not 20 goddamn whatever year it is. Ass. AFC South, Jalen, Geno, Trevor. Cooling right now. That's the best that we've listed, that we listed so far. AFC West, Blaine Gabbert, Josh Allen. Let's stop levels. I should have stopped at Blaine Gabbert. All right. The AFC North. This look like this low-key might be the best. I'm going to keep them with AFC South. You got Bryce, Caleb, Pat, Tommy. Garbage with Tommy. NFC North, I'm going to stop. I see Kaepernick and Cooper Rush with Trey Lance. Let's stop right there. All right. Then the NFC North, you got Justin Fields, Matthew Dak, and Drake May. Solid.
Tar24_ just resubscribed for 2 months.
Yo, hey, Todd, thank you for the 2 months sub. And then the NFC West, you got Jaden. And that's and Brock Purdy in golf. Don't sleep on the NFC West. The NFC West kind of tough. The NFC West kind of tough. I'm not going to lie. I like that. I'm going NFC West. Then I'm going NFC East. Then AFC South. Those are the three best. Did I say North twice? The North is garbage. We're done with them. The East, yo, chat, what y'all got? Y'all got East or West? Bryce, Caleb, and Pat? Bro, Pat is holding this down on his own for real. Bryce and Caleb, we still don't know what they are. I'm sorry, Bryce. I vote with you. Caleb showing a lot of potential. This is a more, this is better. This is more even over here. You got Brock, Jared, solid quarterbacks. Jaden had a great fucking rookie season. Still don't know who he's going to be as a player. Had a great season. I like West more than I like East, to tell you the truth. Just to be completely honest with you. I like this video. Cool video.
She wanna stay with me. Top floor penthouse up on the balcony, acting unfaithfully. Baby, come lay with me. She wanna stay with me. Top floor penthouse up on the balcony, acting unfaithfully. A Hellcat driver, Mr. One Nighter.